It was a sweltering July afternoon, the kind where the air hung heavy. Andrew, a man whose life revolved around the precise clanking of machinery and the smooth glide of a well-oiled bolt, was elbow-deep in the guts of an old thresher. He was restoring it for a local historical society, a labor of love that often took him to forgotten corners of dusty barns and neglected workshops. "Flat nuts," he grumbled to himself, wiping a bead of sweat from his brow with the back of a greasy hand. Always the flat nuts. He was missing a crucial set, and without them the thresher would remain a glorified hunk of rusted metal. He'd tried all the usual suppliers, even scoured online forums, but these were a specific, almost antique size, no longer manufactured. His last hope was old Silas Blackwood, a recluse who lived on the far side of Miller's Creek, rumored to hoard industrial relics like a dragon with its gold. Andrew had heard whispers about Blackwood's property, a place where shadows stretched longer than they should and the wind carried the scent of decay even on the brightest days. The drive was unsettling. The paved road soon gave way to a gravel track, then a barely discernible dirt path overgrown with weeds that clawed at his truck's undercarriage. Blackwood's home was less a house and more a collection of leaning shacks and sheds, all seemingly on the verge of collapse. Rusting farm equipment, skeletal and grotesque, jutted from the tall grass. Andrew knocked on the warped wooden door. It creaked open slowly, revealing Silas Blackwood. Silas was a man made of angles and shadows, his face a roadmap of deep wrinkles, his eyes like chips of flint in a fire-blackened face. A long, unkempt beard, the color of dirty snow, reached his chest. He smelled of mildew and something else Andrew couldn't quite place. Something metallic and faintly sweet, like old blood. "You're Andrew, eh?" Silas's voice was a dry rasp, like leaves skittering across pavement. "Come about the nuts, have you?" Andrew nodded, a knot forming in his stomach. "Yes, the flat nuts for an old thresher. I heard you might have some." Silas gave a slow, unsettling smile, revealing teeth that were too long, too sharp. "Might. Follow me." He led Andrew to the largest shed, a structure so dilapidated that light filtered through countless gaps in the walls and roof, creating an eerie, shifting mosaic on the dust-laden floor. Inside, it was a labyrinth of forgotten machinery, gears, chains, and unidentifiable metallic monstrosities piled high. The air was thick with the smell of decay and something else, something cloying and sickly sweet. "Right this way," Silas rasped, leading him deeper into the gloom. Andrew noticed dark stains on the wooden floor, spreading out from under various piles of junk. He told himself it was just oil, or perhaps old animal droppings. Silas stopped before a heavy wooden crate, bound with rusted iron straps. "These," he said, tapping it with a gnarled finger, "are the nuts you seek." Andrew peered inside. Sure enough, nestled among layers of greasy packing material were the flat nuts. Dozens of them, perfectly preserved, gleaming faintly in the dim light. They were exactly what he needed. "How much?" Andrew asked, his voice a little hoarse. Silas chuckled, a sound like dry bones rattling. "Not money, Andrew, not for these. They have a cost." Andrew felt a chill despite the oppressive heat. "What kind of cost?" Silas turned, his eyes fixed on Andrew's. "These nuts, they come from a special place. They require a certain kind of feeding." He gestured vaguely at the shed around them, at the stains on the floor. "The machines here, they hunger. And these nuts, they are the only ones that truly satisfy." Andrew's gaze fell upon a particular machine, half hidden in the shadows. It was a contraption of gears and blades unlike anything he'd ever seen, and clinging to its surface, gleaming ominously, were more of the flat nuts, coated in something dark and viscous. The sweet metallic smell was strongest here. "What are you talking about?" Andrew demanded, his voice rising. Silas simply smiled, that unsettling, too sharp smile. "You found your flat nuts, Andrew. Now you must decide if you're willing to pay their price. The thresher needs them, yes? And the machines, they are always hungry." A low, rhythmic hum began to emanate from the depths of the shed, a sound like grinding teeth. The shadows around the strange machine seemed to deepen, to coil and writhe. Andrew took a hesitant step back, then another. The precious flat nuts in the crate suddenly seeming less like a solution and more like a terrifying burden. He knew with a horrifying certainty that the feeding Silas spoke of was not for the machines alone, but for something far older, far more malevolent, that resided within the crumbling walls of that shed. He had found his nuts, but a creeping dread told him he had also found something far, far worse.